another Big Bad Review. I'm your host, Cam of the Big Bad Beetle Bros and Stronger Than Before, a Zeo Rewatch podcast. Today, I am back with a new toy review, something that actually is new and not just new to you or new to me. This is new to everyone. And new to everyone basically at the time of recording and about a week before this goes live. This will actually be pretty up to date, I think. We are looking at King Ohger Tarantula Knight. This is God Tarantula, the 6th Ranger's mech from King Ohger, the current Super Sentai season that is ongoing right now. I have been kind of on the fence with King Ohger for a long time. As I've been watching it, this is the first year that I have kept up continuously with both the ongoing Sentai and the ongoing Kamen Rider. It has been years since I've been this dedicated to weekly catching up with the ongoing series. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into unboxing this guy. I've kind of shown you guys around the package already. This is the first Sentai mech I have bought in years and years and years, if not close to a decade now. I love it. I love the box art. I guess there's some kind of a bug game or bug fighting game or something on the Nintendo Switch that has a little ad here. Yeah, cool. So I am going to unbox this guy real quick, and I will be back when I get into that. So, let's go.
God Tarantula!
Alright, so I got this guy out of the box, and guys, I absolutely adore this figure. I have not, like I said before, I haven't bought a Super Sentai mech, or really any Sentai or Kamen Rider stuff since O's and 4s. I'm just now, like I've said in other videos, just now getting back into collecting in general, and especially with import stuff. Other than the B Commander that I did a while ago, I really have not been getting imported toys and or really anything for that matter. Just been out of my wheelhouse for a little bit, and I am just adoring this guy. Absolutely have loved this mech, and the 6th Ranger in King Ohger has been just really fun. It's obviously, the 6th Ranger tends to be one of the cooler, more interesting characters with a more kind of dynamic backstory. The 6th Ranger and the Red Ranger tend to kind of have that. I think King Ohger has done a really good job of everybody having a really impressive backstory and interesting side plots and stuff, which is great. But man, this one just really, really stood out to me and really struck me when I was watching the show. And as soon as it debuted, I knew that I had to get it. I love the designs of all the other mechs too, and the support mechs, the auxiliary Zords, the snail Gatling gun, chain flail Pillbug. That's also they have the taxis and stuff that are the Pillbugs. All that kind of stuff is all really cool. I just I love it. But this guy really, really, really struck me. So I've got him in God Tarantula mode. Just that white and gold just really, really, really stands out. So real quick, look around on this guy. Really adore. You've got the kind of almost looks like a PlayStation controller visor on the face here. Love how they articulate the little jaws, both in the toy and in the show. It just comes across really well. It's got kind of the extra eyes here that match up with the visor eyes here. You can really kind of capture the two-piece, a thorax and abdomen vibe going on. The gold design that is kind of the crown of the super Ultra Zord mode. Really, really cool. Doesn't necessarily right from the get-go look like it is an attachment to a larger Zord. It becomes, it's fairly obvious when you really start to look at it, but I had not seen footage or photos of the super combined Zord until I got this guy and saw the box. I've been pretty good about avoiding spoilers for the show so far. And, man, it strikes me so hard. It stands out a ton. The posability on this guy has been driving me insane. So every joint is a ratchet, a fully articulated ratchet that tends to go like 180. So like this goes a little bit more than 180 on these front arms. And then you also have a ratchet that goes down kind of like a shoulder ratchet down the sides, and then full 360 spin there. Technically you can flip up these little like ends, but that's technically part of the transformation. And then you've also got same on a second limb, actually ratchets on the spin around, and then ratchets a little bit over 180 there. And then the little feet don't move on this one. Then the second to last limb, you've got a ratchet. It's just a singular, pop the head back down. Just a singular piece here. This is kind of like the super extra leg that they had to throw in, but I think it works. I think it blends in enough just to justify the 8 legs over 6. But yeah, so you've got that one there. That's the only way that moves. It's on just a little flap here, and I can't tell if it's meant to be like further pushed out or not. This is about as far as I'm comfortable pushing it. And then the back legs here, because these are the actual like robot mode legs, the night mode, they also get a more than 180 back. Well, maybe right about 180. Yeah. So quite a bit of posability. And then on the back foot, you have 360. It's on a ball joint, so a little bit doesn't stick out as much as I would kind of like. Like if this boot, I guess, kind of like had a flange or a hinge. I don't know how the engineering on that would work, but if this could like stick out a little bit more and point more down like these do, parallel to the leg, but you really don't notice it too much. I mean, it's fairly obviously a robot foot, but other than that, like, there's like bodily movement in the I don't know how else to phrase it. There's like an abdomen crunch included with the spider mode because of the transformation and posability in robot mode that actually like really can work for some cool poses while in spider mode, because you've got like this double abdomen hinge here. Sorry, I keep going out of frame. So like you've got that kind of like double abdomen hinge, and then you've also got an additional hinge back here on the like, I guess the thorax. I don't remember my spider anatomy. The butt here can kind of like go all the way down or stick up. They usually show it in promo stuff that I've seen sticking up more. Like in the box art here, they've got it sticking up pretty far. But yeah, you can kind of like mess around with the posing however you want there. And of course, like depending on how you're going to have it displayed, maybe you swap it up a bit. But yeah, I think I'm going to have this guy displayed in spider mode pretty often because it just stands out so much. Its introduction in the show, whenever it's summoned, is kind of coming down on a web. And like creepily like articulating its legs as it like falls. It's so cool. You guys have to watch the last like, I don't know, 5 or 6 episodes of King Ohger that have this guy in it. Just absolutely really enjoy it. And I know like even just like God Tarantula and Tarantula Knight's debuts and transformations pop up in like clip shows on YouTube and stuff and TikTok and all that jazz. Totally worth checking out. I'm going to do something a little bit different for the transformation. We're going to speed it up a little bit. It's a super short transformation. That's part of why I'm going to do it this way, because I don't want this video to run too terribly long. Without further ado, I'm going to transform this guy real quick. We're going to transform him into Tarantula Knight. Okay, and this is fully transformed Tarantula Knight. I love it. Really, really, really strongly mimics the design of the Ranger suit, of the character suit of the Sixth Ranger, and I just love it. Again, posability with this is probably the best of any Sentai or Ranger mech / like Megazord type thing that I have ever owned. I know there have been some that like their whole point is being super articulated, but like having the like combination of well articulated and well designed and like doesn't feel cheap, feels very solid. I'm not worried about breaking it. Has like enough like little details and playability that I'm still impressed with it, and like find little things here and there and I'm like, oh damn, like that really stands out. That doesn't happen a lot outside of things like the Zap Astro Mega Ship that I got. Because of how import costs work, this guy's not exceedingly lower in cost than the Zap Astro Mega Ship. This guy's about 50 to 80 bucks cheaper, which I know is like a good, it's like 50%, 80% literally cheaper, but you factor in shipping and stuff and it gets pretty close to there. And if you were to get the like packaged version that came with the I think it's like a centipede chainsaw and then the cicada blade figures, that bumps the price up to like I think 160 or so. So that puts you pretty much in Zap Megazord range. Basically 3 Zords, basically 1 and 2 accessories. I'm gonna say worth it for what it is, and I'm confident the price is only going to go up in the aftermarket. I'm pretty sure that has already started to happen with the main King Ohger mech. Not 100% sure on that because I've not genuinely taken an interest in buying that. I know a handful of people have. I know Squall did and was super into it. I think this is probably going to be the one, unless something like really changes. I think this is going to be the one that I stick with from this series. Yeah, but posability, like I was saying, just out the wazoo. So we've got, starting from the bottom, we've got the ball joint foot, which just makes like standing this guy in different poses way easier than I anticipated. This is a character that needs to be in cool poses. You can see the cool action poses on the box art in the show. He's doing literally just Spider-Man pose after Spider-Man pose, web swinging and like superhero landings and all that jazz. And then like you can actually do that with the toy to a large degree, and I'm super impressed with that. So yeah, you got the knee actuates all the way back, and you also get the double jointed forward because of the transformation, spider mode. Hips go basically a full split. Not quite, but pretty close. And then they come all the way together, and then you can technically, if you really want to wind it around, you can get all the way 360 on that. But you can get a pretty solid kick if you pose them just right. And then you can get like some pretty good side kicks if you pose them just right. And I'm pretty confident if you really push for it, you could balance this guy into a pretty solid like side kick, roundhouse kick looking pose. If you really took the time, especially if you had, he doesn't have like 5mm pegs or 2mm pegs on his feet, but if you took some time and made a stand of some kind, maybe some kind of a modified Gundam stand or something like that, I think it would work. Then on the arms, we've got same elbow over 180 articulation. You can flip these spider feet down. They kind of just, they're also on soft ratchets. They kind of soft click into the hands, only barely, and then those pop back off. I've had these pop off now a couple times just from like being a little too aggressive when transforming it. Pops right back on, no problem. Slight concern that I'm going to run into gold plastic syndrome on this guy, but I'm not sure. It's been a long time since I've had a toy with gold plastic that's not a vintage toy, so I don't quite know if this like yellow gold plastic will have the same problems. Gold plastic syndrome is a problem that was really prevalent in 80s and 90s toys, specifically like Beast Wars, And some Power Rangers Super Sentai stuff, I think mainly I remember it from like Beast Wars and G1 toys featuring gold plastic parts, and for whatever reason the gold plastic is just extremely brittle compared to the rest. So I'm hoping that's not the case with these guys. It doesn't feel like it would be, and especially because it's mostly, except for these arm feet, it's all pretty much non-transforming parts. So it's on these, these feet up here, and then these kind of like little ball joint fangs up at the top, and then the visor on the head. So not super worried about it, but I always hesitate when I see gold plastic. So, and then we've got full, basically a 180 ratchet, and really just strong ratchet. Not quite as like heavy to move as the Zap Megaship or Astro Megazord, but strong enough that I'm confident that whatever accessories you get to put on this guy's arms, you're not going to have a problem attaching them on there. Then these arms come up and over, and you can kind of pose those around too. I know in the show kind of does a handful of different attacks and moves using these arms, which is cool. They're not just kind of like shoulder pauldrons. And then you can spin the arm around basically 360. There's a lot of ratchets all in kind of one concentrated area, so you do get a little bit of a complicated movement there. But honestly, I think it works still. Not having like a genuine problem with it at all. It just, you got an upper torso crunch here that goes really far forward, and then pretty far back, and you usually leave it kind of like right there. And then technically you can undo that hip joint and move it back, but that is technically supposed to, like, during transformation it's supposed to like click in. But you can even see here his hip is like super snapped out of place just to get posability and the look of it. So it's kind of like up to you guys, I guess, or up to us as owners of this toy. We've got the little visor reveal to show that beautiful, beautiful face sculpt. Really cool, very much reminiscent and homages the Ranger helmet, corresponds to this guy, and his like tattoos that he has in his civilian form. I really like it with the visor on, but I really do like this robot head mode. And you saw in the transformation, his head can kind of like dip all the way back, so you can use that as posability if you want a little bit. It goes really far forward. You can kind of give him like a super hunched look, which I think he is supposed to have, where it sticks out. I kind of like have it up a little bit more, but I think you maybe are supposed to have it all the way back like this and have him kind of like hunched a little bit more. Hard to say. One thing I want to say about this, and this might totally be on me. I might be just old and out of the game and out of the loop and all that jazz, but no instruction manual. First transforming toy I've bought that had no instructions with it. I don't know if that's because it's meant to be so simple, because you just kind of unfold everything and fold it back in. It's pretty straightforward. There's nothing that really gets thrown for the loop except for like posability stuff like the neck and the spine. Everything else is pretty much just look at the picture and copy it on the box. But the only thing it came with was a little like release promo thing that showcases the 3 black and gold like auxiliary show gods, and the sword, henshin device, and then the whole set with all of the other ones. And this is all that it came with paper-wise. So I'm usually totally fine with like not getting a bunch of paper with toys like this. Just weird to not have any kind of manual whatsoever. And again, maybe mine just is missing it. I don't know. I took the box completely apart. I opened both sides. It has a cardboard insert inside that the toy was sitting in, and the only piece of paper that was in the box with that was this guy. and he was just wrapped in 2 plastic bags. This is, sealed, brand new, shipped after a pre-order from Tokulectables. No concern at all that it had been opened for any means. But yeah, just not 100% on there. The one accessory kind of thing that you have out of the box with just this guy, you don't get the other Zords, the Cicada and the Centipede or Millipede, whatever it's meant to be, is the web shooter kind of cannon thing, which I'm sure has a proper name that I am not remembering, but I might put down here if I can think of it, or if I can find it. I really dig this. Looks pretty cool. Just holds right on his hand there. The hands do rotate 360. I don't know if I mentioned that before, but yeah, so the hands rotate on the wrist, which is cool. That's a thing that a lot of like mechs like this you're not going to get. But you get some really cool kind of like thwip, spider web swinging poses going with this, which is probably what I'll do if I have him in Tarantula Knight mode, because he's a big Spider-Man robot. He's more of a Spider-Man robot than like Leopardon at first glance. Don't cancel me because I said that, but this is like this is Spider-Man as a mech, and I enjoy it. I did mention before that this gold piece here is like the sole combiner aspect that comes off, that goes into the Ultra Zord type mode, and that just pops right off. It is just on a little clip here on the back. You can see that little piece of slightly different color gold plastic, and then you just have this really cool helmet thing that just clips onto. For instance, if it was this guy, it would clip on right there, but it's not this guy. It's the other one. But I really like that. I really like the like gem look, golden look. The paint's nice and metallic. Paint's nice and metallic and shiny on the green and red gems there. Looks great in my opinion. Doesn't need a bunch of detailing on the rest of it. It's pretty solid. I'm curious if this white plastic will yellow over time. No, I don't have an example of a yellowed white plastic. Well, my computer over here, my Apple II, is incredibly yellow, and it was not when it would have been originally purchased in like 1982. So what may or may not happen to yellow toys, or to white plastic toys, is you get some pretty drastic yellowing just due to like sunlight usually. So I'm gonna try to put this guy on a shelf where he's not gonna be anywhere near direct sunlight. I'm not super worried about it, but sometimes, there's Transformer toys from the last 5 years that are yellowing really, really badly already. And with people who live in like, windowless apartments are having Transformer toys with white plastic that yellow really badly. And I'm concerned that'll happen with this guy, because that white, gold, black, and gray just stands out so damn well. I love it. I really, really dig it. I like what at first may look like a paint app mess up is actually intentional. The teal on this side is like partially unfinished. Purple on this side is like also kind of like scuffed, but it goes further up. It's just how it looks in the show. I dig it. The teal and purple match the Cicada and the Centipede Millipede. I don't 100% know which one those are. Again, that'll show up. I'll put that somewhere. What the actual names of those are. This guy is still, I believe, available for, I guess it wouldn't be pre-order, it would just be ordering over on Tokulectable. They might be sold out after the pre-order batch. Not 100% sure. I know like Big Bad Toy Store and Tokulectable both got these guys. I, of course, personally go to Tokulectable whenever I can for this kind of stuff. And like I said, I have the Cicada Blade coming in tomorrow, so you will be seeing me very soon talking about the Cicada Blade, because I'm super pumped about this guy. I'm going to be trying to do some actual like toy photography with this guy, because the like posability and stuff, the only thing I've bought recently that mimics it at all is the Lightning Collection Ranger figures. I don't tend to buy figures that have like crazy high posability. Usually they're pretty much giant chunks of plastic that a few pieces fold, and that's kind of it. I'm not used to getting like a mech that can do like action hero poses, you know, like that's not really in the wheelhouse usually. Being able to have essentially a Power Rangers toy, a Megazord, be able to pose like that and still be a solid figure that does combine with the larger mech. Like he clamps onto the back of the full mech, and his spider legs kind of pop over the top in a way that his legs pop over himself now. And of course the gold crown goes on. Like, that stuff is just like, it stands this figure out to me a bunch. I think it stands out in my collection. It's one of the few things that I've gotten in recent memory that, like, I showed my wife the big spider mode, and she was like, whoa, like, how does that transform? Like, that's so cool. And yeah, I've really, really been enjoying this guy. I apologize that I'm, like, just kind of, like, gushing over the figure and not explaining a ton about it. I don't know if there's anything additionally to explain other than that it's a really, really fun figure to mess around with. If you find one available on any of the various sites that I've talked about, or anywhere else for that matter, eBay, Amazon, whatever, go ahead and snag it. I would say, even if you have not watched King Ohger, even if you haven't watched the show, even if you don't plan on watching the show, if you're just a toy guy, I think this would be fun. It's just one of those things that is going to stand out in your collection. It's going to look really good on a shelf in either mode. I don't know. It's just cool. I'm hyped to have this guy. Hyped to find him a spot on my shelves. Yeah, I'm pumped. I really, really, really dig it. If you guys want to check out the photos, you can head over to my personal Instagram, where I'll be posting some of these photos and probably a handful of other things, especially when the Cicada Blade comes in tomorrow. That is KC Camcorder on Instagram. You can also head over to projectlouder.net if you want to check out all of the podcasts, blogs, vlogs, all that jazz that I've been doing with me and my crew and TJ and a whole bunch of other guys who do all sorts of reviews and videos and all that goodness. If you want to check out Big Bad Beetle Bros, that is Beetle Bros Pod on Twitter and Big Bad Beetle Bros on Instagram and Facebook. Same goes for Stronger Than Before, a Zeo Rewatch podcast. That is available wherever you watch podcasts, or listen to podcasts, rather. We don't do video. Spotify, iTunes, all that jazz. And you can find us on Instagram and Facebook at Stronger Than Before Podcast. And we don't post super often on there, but every now and then, especially when I get new Zeo figures, we try and post stuff on there. Yeah. I really appreciate you guys tuning in for this little review of our Tarantula Knight figure. I'm super excited for this. Huge shout out to Toe Collectibles for providing the pre-order for this guy. Yeah. I love it. Can't stop staring at it. Okay, guys. I will be back next week with the Cicada Blade and showing you how he integrates in here with our Tarantula Knight figure. So, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next time.